Borrowed Flesh, by Marius André Pintia, C. or RIGHT. Copyright 2025 Marius André Pintia. All rights are reserved. It is illegal to soru, distribute, or sraatedeerivative works from Th's book in whole or in raw rt. No raw rtoft is book mobrro duce d or transmitted in anu form what zoe ver, elstrones, or msha ni sa l, including rhot osorui ing, rso rodai ing, or by anu informational ztorage or retrieval system without exrrsd written. Date ANDZIGNED re-erm ISIO N from THEAUTHOR. Seeing handcuffs finally get tightly locked around my wrists surprisingly gave me a sense of peace. There is something seriously wrong with me. I just don't know what it is exactly. The only thing I know is that whenever I fall asleep things get bad. For instance, the incident that just got me arrested. I have a job that usually requires a lot of night shifts. I'm a customer service agent. One of those ones that is available to you 24/7 over the phone. However, the thing is though we still have to come to the office. It's not all bad because we have everything we need here. Fancy coffee machine, plenty of snacks for people to have, a longer lunch break that lasts an hour unlike the usual 30 minutes the majority of companies give. That being said, just like any other job there are days of stress and frustration that get to you. Whether it is disrespectful customers, rude coworkers and so on. The thing is though this is the kind of job where you can expect a sudden shift out of the blue. Which is fine by me, work is work. The upside is that the people you work with are very random. To the point where sometimes you will be working with assholes, while other times you could be working with saints. There really only has been one consistent person that has been here every night. That is the HR lady. She is very sweet and very kind. To everyone, even to the people that don't even deserve kindness to be brutally honest. Back to my point though. However, while going on these long night shifts of course you can't help but drift off to sleep. These micro naps sneak up on you all the time. This was the one night though where it was not good for anyone. I was about halfway through my shift and suddenly I drifted off to sleep when I was in the middle of my 5th coffee. The thing is though I'm not shocked by the issue that I kept having. I've been having it since I was in my late teens. I never really knew what triggered it. However, I do know that ever since I was in my teens whenever I closed my eyes I would wake up to trouble. It would not matter if I slept for 12 minutes or 12 hours I would always wake up to trouble. I always knew this was a problem, but I never went to anyone for help, because I thought I was going to sound crazy. At first it was small stuff. I would fall asleep and wake up to a very messy bed, and what would look like fist marks in the mattress. However, with time I would wake up with sore knuckles, ache muscles or sometimes even injuries that I had no idea how I got them. Therefore, I tried my best to hold this part of myself as best as I could. This was something I had no idea how to do, but I had to do it. When I had a long weekend all to myself when my parents were on vacation I kept track of everything. How quickly it would take over, what would its personality be like and so on. I set up cameras I had in the house, markers with tape and so on. I was able to observe everything when I woke and I found a way to live with this. However, the issue was when life started happening, that's when things started to get more complicated. Getting a job, paying bills, having relationships and with everything else that life throws at you this became more difficult to manage. It took me forever to find a job that I actually was able to keep for longer than the 3 months. That is because of the issue I had. I would not be able to focus enough to perform sufficiently. On top of that oftentimes relationships would not last longer than 2 dates. The reason is because I would always hold the information that I had this problem. There were 2 reasons I never said anything. The first was because I just simply did not want people to look at me differently. The second reason was because I didn't know how to explain it to people. The issue was even if I did even try to explain how my affliction was affecting me they would just come to the conclusion that it was just bad dreams. The thing is though the first time I ever had a girl sleep over she kept insisting we slept in the same bed. Even though I knew in my gut it was not going to work out well, I went against my better judgment. According to her, I apparently just woke up in the middle of the night, grabbed her by the neck and started to squeeze. At first she thought I was being playful, but she had a hard time breathing. To the point where she actually started to scream. I try to cover her mouth, but she pulls on my hair. I lost enough focus that he ran off. Apparently I did not chase after her, she just hid in the bathroom until she thought she was safe. When I was myself again, I felt pain at the top of my head. Apparently she pulled on my head so hard that she ripped some of it out. I tried my best to apologize and try to make her understand. I knew it would be useless because I knew she was going to leave anyway. Which is fine by me, but what my concern was, I had to try and explain the situation to her. If I did not explain it, I would have regretted it the rest of my life. I avoided relationships as much as I could after that. It got to the point where I bought a fake engagement ring for myself to give a clear indication to anyone who had interest in me to lose that interest immediately. Even finding my own place was a problem. Not just because I had a hard time keeping a job and therefore rent was a constant stress on mind. However, on top of that, I was constantly getting noise complaints. Therefore, I would constantly get kicked out because of it. At least finally now, while being in custody, I can finally talk to someone about what happened. I was interrogated by cops all night trying to squeeze some sort of confession out of me as if I was just going crazy and that I just lost my temper. However, I tried to explain to them my situation and no one believed me. I tried to see if I could convince them to do some sort of test to let me fall asleep for a couple of minutes. No one let me do that. To be fair though, not even sure if I could fall asleep due to all of the stress of this current situation. Eventually, thankfully, when my lawyer came in, I was able to get someone to listen to me. To do what I was hoping to do when I first got here was get an answer. Finally, a psychologist in this station came to me and put me under hypnosis. When I woke up, I was in a straitjacket and I felt pain all over my face. I could not see properly out of my left eye and I moved the tongue around my mouth and noticed I was missing a few teeth. I'm so sorry for anyone I hurt. You did not hurt anyone. At least not severely. A voice I heard in front of me. It was the psychologist who put me under hypnosis. It was explained to me that when I went to sleep I turned into an angry toddler. Not speaking or making much cohesive sense. Just getting mad, yelling, screaming, and making noise whenever someone said or did something I did not want them to. I did not attack the psychologist much. Just one slap when I was told that I could not leave. We have to find a way to heal your literal inner child. If not, then we will reach a moment where it could be the death of you. I'm not saying healing you will be fast. However, we need to start immediately. You don't belong in prison. You are not a criminal. You are scared. We will send you somewhere else, and until you are fixed we will be treating you daily. You got a long journey ahead of you. I just wish you the best and I hope one day you arrive at your destination of sanity.